Hello and welcome to Midweek Gaming. We're back once again on a Wednesday night. We're now having a bit of crazy weather over in the UK. I mean, the other day, I swear it might have been I can't remember what night it was. Anyway, it was all sunny. And then it started. Had like a mad 20 minutes of pure snow. It's really crazy. Did any of you guys get it? Tushi, removable, yeah.
Yeah, it was sunny. Then it was freezing cold. Then it was snowing. Then it was sunny. Then the next day, my car had snow on the car in the morning. Well, not much.
Well, to be fair, that's the UK summer over now, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
It's now rain for the next 9 months. That's it. We've had our sunshine. We've had a bit of snow. That's it. It's done. Summer's over. Back to rain.
Pixel Slapper said he had snow in Liverpool as well. So yeah, it's a bit strange. It goes from sunny to snow. It's a bit weird. So yeah, we're back.
Now, in Texas, we call that November. And only 1 week in November. And only 1 week in November. We do it all in 1 week in November. It goes from 32 degrees to 80 degrees within a 4 or 5 day period.
Wow. So, April's weird in Britain. It's really strange time.
April showers is normally, isn't it?
I mean, I remember when my daughter was born, and it was in March, 5th of March, right? What week? She's. Hang on, she is. Give me a second.
You're a parent when you can't remember your own child's birthday or age.
So she's free. So
don't take it personally.
So she's free. So 3 years ago, on the 5th of March, we had loads of snow all the way there. We had snow drifts to the hospital. We didn't think we were going to get there. And do you remember that year, removable? Do you remember that year?
Yeah.
It was really, really bad for snow. It was fucking terrible. We got there, though, and I went to the hospital and was like, they're like, how did you get here? Well, what do you mean? We had midwives calling from your area saying that you can't get in. Well, I said I had no option. You don't come and deliver at home, do you? So we made it here,
Well, you can. Yeah, you can. To be fair, where I am, there is it's 4 routes in, and at any point, if there is any snow, the town gets shut down effectively, because the routes in are basically hillside, so it has very low drops and very high steeps. So if there's black ice or anything, like, the police just go, look, we're not going to cover the accidents, so you're not getting out, because it's just too much effort for us to stop all these accidents. It's like, that's it, lockdown.
Well, it's like people tease Houston, but yeah, we get so much assurance. Just no, we have to shut down. We don't have the infrastructure to deal with it. We don't have snow blowers. We don't have
We don't have any of that crap.
Yeah.
Well, we do. If the roads need let's just say, if the roads need doing, well, no, the county I live in is very good at gritting, but when it comes to snow plows, they pay the farmers to do it. They get on the tractors and they put the snow plows on the tractors. Because all the lovely farmers are doing it at a good time.
Put your penis away.
It's my cat. She's driving me crazy.
I'm like, they're not doing it out of the goodness of hearts. The council are paying them to do it. And then, right. I says, well, they don't do it for free. The farmers do note for free. It's like, do you know in January and February, on most roadsides when the farmers are out cutting the hedges. Did you know the council also paid them to cut their own hedges?
Wow.
Well, there is also a little bit of a legal obligation as well. Yes, they do pay them to a degree to get pay on their parts, but there is a legal obligation because what they do is they get a subsidy for the hedges.
That's it.
Yeah, so it is technically is for them because it helps basically it helps the council stop into overhanging branches, which can then come down due to high winds or elements like that. So it basically stops them having to fork out for branches or trees crashing across the actual main roads and blocking everything up. So it's like, well, what do we do? We'll subsidise the farmers, and then it's their responsibility. So it's effectively they're passing the buck, and the farmers, and to be honest with you, the farmers get something out of it as well. So it's
any weird noises you hear. Any weird noises you're hearing with my cat trying to talk on the mic? No, my cat's trying to talk.
Let's do a few shout outs. Welcome to Dreadpool. I noticed you were first in. Thanks for stopping by. Goat Force Gaming. Excellent video today. You've got to watch it just for the kung fu goat. It's really funny.
Kung fu goat.
No, honestly, go and watch the video.
Yeah, well, I'm not right really now. Good. We're in a show, but
yeah, I know. But after, no, it is good.
Now and do it.
Yeah, it is. No, it's good. It's a good video. Welcome, Pixel Slapper. Welcome, Flap from Green Pass Gaming. Thanks for stopping by. Welcome, Telegonic, Masuku, and welcome, Infinite. Welcome, Pong Soul. Thanks for stopping by, mate. And yeah, Kung Fu Goat. Basically, go after you've watched this, or you've got time tomorrow or whenever. Go if you haven't subscribed to Goat Force Gaming. He's updating the style of his channel. He's going to roguelike, and he nice video introducing it. But there's a Kung Fu goat in it, and it's actually Goat Force Gaming
any more
himself.
Than that. Let the people go and see for themselves.
Yeah, go and see it because it's really, really good. Flap.
I just realised you lot can't see me winking, nudging, so unfortunately I'll have to do it in air quotes. Yeah. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
You'd really like the video. You would.
Wink, nudge, know what I
mean?
Anyway,
Yes. So, Mr. Tushi, have you been up to much this week or the weekend past? Have you played any games?
Yeah, the main one I've been playing is Outriders, which we'll get into that later.
Yeah,
it's Dubs' favourite.
Yeah, when it works.
Gear 6.
Gear 6, yeah, we like to call it.
Well,
I've had a few issues as well. I have.
Yeah, I think we all have.
I just
you play much else then, or just Outriders? He's talking to his.
Hang on a second.
Okay.
The wife.
Removal Sanity. How are you doing? You been reviewing many more games and playing games, or you've been too busy with work?
I gave myself a little bit of a week off for the bank holiday we have here, because it was my work was absolutely effectively for the 4 days I got off. I had to then catch up and do all that work prior. So. Absolutely shattered myself. Obviously, with a pregnant partner as well, that kind of basically took up my time. But I am reviewing a particular game. Hopefully, that'll come out very shortly. It's a turn-based. It's almost like a stealth. It's not turn-based. I'm lying there. It's a stealth set in the Western, and it's called El Neo. Nice. It's actually out as we speak right now. It's a really lovely visual style. But I don't want to go too much into it because I would like you to see my review when I finish it. But I've been playing that, and obviously Outriders as well because it's free on Game Pass, so I don't have to spend any money to play it. So why not?
Catching, I'm back.
Are you back?
Sorry, the missus just walked in and started talking to me like she forgot I was on a podcast.
I'm sure there's 2,000 people just heard you.
Yeah.
But no, you've been playing much else in apart from Outriders, or has that been taking up all your time?
No,
I said, sorry, Sim, isn't it?
Go on, you can go first.
No, he cut through to me, and then I don't know who he's talking to, so I assumed it was either me still. I'll finish, you go.
Sorry. I haven't really been playing much. I've been hooked on a TV series for some reason. Because I don't watch much TV, but I've started watching a TV series called Glitch from 2015
okay.
on Netflix.
Never heard of it.
Yeah, Glitch is cool. I like Glitch.
Yeah, it's good. But I've watched the whole 3 seasons in like a couple of days.
Really?
You binged.
Wow.
I've been binging, but apart from that, I ain't been playing much late this last week or so. But I'm sure I'll get back to it soon.
Yeah, fair enough. Welcome, Cerebral Paul. How are you doing? Hey. Have you been playing many games? It's always a stupid question.
Yeah, I know. I've been playing Outriders. Still been doing Dragon Age, and I've been doing some other stuff too. But like we've learned, I kind of bounce all over the place depending on where my mood is in any given second. 10 minutes here, 2 hours there, 10 hours here. And with Outriders, it's been a matter of. With Outriders, it's been a matter of, is it going to work right now? So, other than that, exactly. I mean, and enjoying that, having fun, And since I do the Microsoft Point thing, I always look to see what the games of the week are that they want us to get achievements in or whatever, and I drop those in for a few minutes. And I know one I tried, Ori and the Will of the Wisp. Yeah, nice. That game. It's a very pretty game. It's a pretty game that I can't play.
It's not easy. I struggle with that game big time.
It is not easy at all.
No, it's all about precise timing, isn't it?
Yeah.
But the thing is, there's a certain section that I've even cheated, looked at how you do it. I still can't do it.
Even on the quotes that are easy, I can't do a lot of them because there's a lot of jumping and moving and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, that's not happening. That's it. So I did just enough to get what I needed, and then I was like, I'm done. You know what? I may go back to it at some point, but it really is too difficult for me. And so it's one of those games that I know if I do it, I'm going to get very frustrated pretty quickly. And I don't necessarily want to be in a frustrated mood when I'm trying to play a game.
No,
it's one of those games that I know if I do it, I'm going to get very... echo. I'm hearing myself come back.
Sorry.
And then
it's always tushi.
And since we're talking about binging, I've been binging all the WrestleManias on the Peacock over here, leading up to the new one coming up next weekend. So
all the rest of the originals?
Yeah,
really?
Like
number
1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah.
Jesus.
And I've come to the conclusion that the stuff from the 80s and the 90s was better than the crap we have now.
That's true.
Yay! Oh, I shouldn't say that.
Well, because sadly, WrestleMania without a stadium of 50,000 people, even when you watch it, it loses its atmosphere.
But what's cool is, for me anyway, is watching all these old guys and watching them and going, wow, that was really neat the way they did that, And I've been to a real wrestling match, so I know about the signals. And when I was at a WrestleMania match, it was fun because you actually saw the ref go down in the middle-ish of the mat, but before they could do the next move, you watched the unconscious ref scooch himself over about 2 feet to the center. Okay.
So he doesn't get hurt,
Yeah. So he they communicated to him, dude, do to the left, go to the left.
Quick nudge with the heel, move. But I don't know. For me, the characters, the backgrounds, and the characters themselves seem so much more prolific and visceral. Yeah, they were so much more. You could roll off. What I found here is like today's WrestleMania. You could probably roll off. And again, I'm not. I am a little bit of a WrestleMania fan, but I'm not a heavy one. But I could probably roll off about 6 or 7 characters. Back in the 80s, I don't think there wasn't one I couldn't name.
Right. Oh, I go back in WrestleMania 5. They did one of the Rowdy segments.
Yeah. Nice.
And
I just watched the film he was in.
And just watching it was like, wow, this is really cool. They did. I mean, he was fun to watch. He was engaging. He was,
And he was also an actor in a Stephen King film.
I loved They Live. They Live was awesome.
That's it. I showed my missus that actually over the weekend. It's like, she went, who's this guy? And it's like, he was a famous wrestler. He's really good. And it's the only time that he was actually really good acting in this as well, which was strange.
Well, and the whole fight scene they do, I don't know if you know this, the whole fight scene they do, they actually did that fight scene. They did the fight.
Exactly, yeah.
They practiced it, yes, but it was a full contact, go at it,
Yeah. They actually basically said the script, it was so good at a fight scene, they just left the cameras rolling.
Yep.
So it's supposed to happen for like 2 minutes. It turns into almost like a 5-10 minute brawl.
Yeah, and they beat the living crap out of each other.
It is, yeah. And you could see, you could definitely the wrestling influences were in there. You know, the timing of when when the guy had to hits and him slightly just moving out the way just so he doesn't get, or the slam and the body slams and all those aspects. You could see there is some wrestling.
And they did the one suplex for real, and they go, we want a suplex, and Roddy Piper goes, which one? So in other words, and the other actor was more than willing to do it, which was really good on him.
Yeah, it's because that was concrete. It was actually in the middle of a road. And to have that on the middle of the road, if you haven't seen the actual, the actual floors of the wrestle ring, they have a little bit of give in them.
A lot of give.
Concrete
they're on heavy duty springs. Yeah, they're on heavy duty springs.
Yeah. Concrete doesn't.
Yeah. I mean, for me, every time people go, wrestling is fake, I'll tell you what, they're in better shape than a lot of athletes out there. They gotta be.
They are.
Yeah,
that's true.
Anyway, this is a gaming
you can
thing.
See that, buddy. Yeah. Well, let's wrestle games.
That's true, and I wish there would be some really good. I haven't played the new one yet. I want to check it out, but yeah, I haven't been able to play a wrestling game since the N64. Because the controls just got too wonky, where it was like push 26 buttons and move left 3 times twice.
Yeah, I must admit.
Yeah,
the new ones, I'm in the same boat with you. I think it's just way too many combinations you've got to try and get right at the same time as trying to. It's like, give me back the old days where one button just to grapple, one button was a pole drive. Yeah, one was like, make it a little bit more simpler so you can actually do what you want. I find it's a little bit too complicated now. But there we go.
And the OG NLG podcast, I'll have to get a haircut. I will be seeing him tomorrow. Yes, I will.
I haven't watched wrestling for years. I used to be into it when I was a kid. The last time I watched it was around when Brock Lesnar came into it.
Yes.
Oh, bloody hell.
Which is ages ago.
Do you mean when he first debuted, or when he went to the UFC then came back?
No, when he first came into wrestling, he was about 25, wasn't he?
Because he went to UFC, and what happened is, the thing people don't realise about Brock, I know today's wrestling, they don't really touch each other, but Brock Lesnar, I think he's left now, but when he came back into it, you'd see a lot of interviews where wrestlers would talk, and some of them that weren't current, because they couldn't talk about WWE currently, would actually say, no, fucking Brock, if you wouldn't sell for him, Brock would actually smack you. So he would sell. He'd punch you legitly. And that's the controversy around WrestleMania, where, do you know where Undertaker lost and he didn't get up? It is believed that Brock knocked him out, so he couldn't get up. And
that's not cool.
By that time, it's too late. So he didn't kick out. So because when he got up, he was all dazed, and it looked like he wasn't faking at all. It is believed that he just smacked him out, so they couldn't get rid of him in the contract. But that pissed me off. I watched that one live because I used to watch wrestling all the time, and when Taker lost, there's a thing on it. You see fans crying because it's kind of a thing you enjoyed watching. Undertaker winning every WrestleMania, and it kind of ruined it. But
it's like
obviously, he's old though. He should have stopped a few years ago. Do you know what I mean? He's finally retired now, but they dragged it out a bit too far with Taker. You know what I mean? It's a bit unlucky,
They tend to drag it out too far with a lot of them, but the only time I had a visceral reaction was when Owen Hart passed away, because I was watching that match. And when that happened, and a lot of my friends around me were going, "Oh, it's fake. It's part of the show."
That was not fake.
No, this is not part of the show.
You cannot find that. That's been deleted.
Something is wrong. Something is wrong.
Unless you own that on a videotape, you cannot find that for love nor money. It was removed from it was edited out in a DVD. It was edited and deleted everywhere. Unless you recorded that at home, you haven't got that.
Yeah.
That's a Vince McMahon thing. He likes to, hide all the ugly. He does what he can.
To be fair, it's to protect the Hart's family as well. I don't think they want people seeing that.
No, you don't want a reminder, do you?
after that, the Hart family kind of had a breaking away with Vince anyway because he was a dick. So
Well, they all fell out of each other after that.
Yeah.
It's a shame. It got messy.
See, that's why you should stuck with the British wrestling. Big
Exactly.
Daddy.
Yep.
Big Daddy A-Stacks. I know.
or as Stubbs, as I call him.
We've got a few more people in. Welcome to the Wrestling Cast. Judd Zilla Music, thanks for stopping by, mate. War Stew, that Mama Rocks, thanks for stopping in. Who else? We've got a few more. Fastback, I hope you have a good haircut, mate. The Indie Gamer, welcome. Thanks for stopping by. Dreadpool, in case you didn't catch it earlier, I'm not sure if you did.
What's up, Indy?
Welcome, Indy.
I need a haircut.
I think I'm all caught. I don't think you do. I actually seen your
He's gone from a 1 to a 2, and he needs to go back to a 1 again.
He's got a 0 from what I could see.
I may wait till
that's a different set of head you're looking at.
Yeah, I may wait till November again and do it for charity again, like I did last year.
That's going to grow blooming long by then.
I want to get on to some gaming topics. I haven't played it. I gave
We've
it a
got
go.
topics.
Yeah. I know. We could just carry talking about wrestling. It would go down well. The old school wrestling. We could, we might have to do one day, a wrestling cast.
It would be good actually, just to do an old show in the background and talk about it.
Yeah, WCW. It will get copyright strike. Yeah. I can tell you that for a fact.
Well, if you're talking over it, it should be okay. What about British wrestling then?
No,
I know,
Vince goes after all that shit.
BG4G have tried, and Tom Wilde a while ago tried to make opinion pieces on the game, and him just putting the footage on YouTube was enough to get striked. Or request or claimed it was quite. In one of them, he just talked about it, and he put it in the title, and he's still done it. They're quite ruthless. They are.
I'll have to stick with British wrestling then, unfortunately. Sorry. You'll enjoy the giant haystack anyway. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. So I've played this game a little bit, and obviously, as I spoke to you all,
years.
Struggles. No, I've played that in weeks. But no, there's welcome Invader. Thanks for stopping by.
Speculation.
Oh, they really are fun speculation, man. Thanks for stopping by. I've played this game a bit, but I've picked the wrong character. I need to change character to an easy one. I picked Pyromancer. I'm going to go and try Technomancer. So, what's everyone's thoughts on the Outriders game by People Can Fly, independent studio and developed and published by Square Enix? Has anyone got any thoughts on this game, and have they played it in Game Pass?
I'd go for Cerebral because he looks like he's perfectly in a position now to talk about it.
He's going to bury it. Here he goes.
Yeah.
Well, no, I'm trying to fix my camera because my cat.
You look perfect. Don't touch it. Don't touch it. You look perfect.
You can see over. You can see stuff you're not supposed to be seeing right now. But oh well. Anyway, I actually prefer I started a Technomancer yesterday.
Oh wow.
And after getting my Pyro to 15, I prefer the Pyromancer actually. At least at lower levels.
They used to give tips to Stubbs then.
At least at lower levels, yeah.
I keep dying. It's like a roguelike. I keep dying.
Well, what tier are you playing on?
I'm only playing on tier 2. I'm not very good.
Well, then you're really bad at it. No, I'm kidding.
Welcome back from the dead.
Bacon.
It's it can be frustrating, but you try the different classes. Like I like the Pyromancer because one, I heal myself quite well, because of the way his powers work, and I'm a solo guy in general, at least because the servers don't work half the time. Right now.
Truth.
And the Pyro seems to heal faster than the Technomancer does.
Oh, that's true. Okay, I didn't know that.
And you make sure you stay up on his skills and which ones work for you. Like with the Pyro, I use the time bomb one to take a bunch of them out at one time, and the Technomancer he can do the gun and stuff, which is cool. It freezes them Um, so, and then it gives you a chance. But like I said, for crowd control, I seem to be better with the pyromancer than the technomancer. But like I said, everybody's a little different. So I'm gonna probably go back and try the other two classes too at some point.
Yeah, the mods on your weapons. So you were saying in terms of you're getting your health back. I think it depends on, because I noticed that one particular mod. I'm trying to think what it's called now. It's for every shot you gain health.
Yeah.
So if you've got an LMG, you can really keep your health up top as long as you keep firing.
And you can take out a bunch of them at one time with the bomb, which automatically like chunks up your health bar big if it blows away 2 or 3 of them at the same time. Yeah.
I wish that happened for me on that big bloody spider. Fucking hell.
It's surprising because actually, as you're saying, you've played the Technomancer. Tushi, you're Technomancer, if I am correct.
Yes,
correct?
That's correct. This is correct, yeah.
So I'm also that. And what I found was actually it's straight. I think also I had a quick chat with Mayhem as well. And he's also Technomancer. And when I look at everyone's skills, the actual choices of the skills, everyone's got a very slight different skill set. Yeah. So for me, that's kind of, that tells me how well the game does, because normally people just go, right, this is the best skill set, and then it's just copied multiple times by people, isn't it? This is it. This is the best one. But I was actually intrigued to see that actually people left to their own devices, the skills you choose, they weren't regularly copied. If you weren't, it weren't literally like 85% was grenades, turret, and blight or something like that. Right. Everyone's got their own slight path. Some uses like the freezing ability, as you said. Some use the heal ability, maybe with the grenades, or they use the minigun ability. Everyone's got their own preference, which I found that was actually, it says to me how well that game was thought out, at least in terms of their skills. It's not stuck in one path where everyone has the same skill set. They've gone into it, if that makes sense.
I personally didn't look at very many streams, or at least for very long, for anything. I've basically gone into it blind so that I would check each of the skills and see which one I like better. And also for me, it also mattered the button layout. Which skill was where? To me, that would make more sense. The one, and to me, there's something to that. There's
skills, can't you?
Yeah, you can move them to whichever the left bumper, right bumper, or combination of both, wherever you're more comfortable with that certain skill. And for me, those kind of adjustments actually help my gameplay, because logically, to me, this certain skill that should be over here. That should be like my primary.
You're closest to your finger, or whichever one that is the most strongest in that regard.
And it made sense that it does this. To me, it just goes that should be on this side. This one should be on. This is the one that feels like it should be the combo push. And that's just to me, it worked out. It changed my gameplay a lot after I did that. So,
well, that's in a way it shows the accessibility of it. Right. Because how easily could it have done? They could have said, right, this is the skill set. Yeah. These are stuck on these particular buttons.
Right. You can only put this one here, this one here, this one here. Yeah.
So they've obviously thought about accessibility in that regards. Right. I was like, well, let's just move it around so everyone can do their own thing.
Like for me, the one with the pyromancer where he shoots the twin trail of flames down the pathway, that seemed to me, because there were 2 trails, that logically that'd be the 2-button push, both shoulder buttons at the same time, and that just, for me, that logically made sense. Yeah,
Now I can understand that. Yeah. So you've again, have you found the actual experience of the game besides the servers, which?
Yeah, I haven't.
Actually, let's talk about the servers. Are you? Because I'm in 2 minds here, and I'll be interested to see what you and Tushi think, and of Stubbs as well. He's only played a bit of it, but do you think this is an issue with the developer just not or underestimating the amount of people coming in, or do you think it is actually something a little bit more deeper?
I was in a meeting this morning, and it's a matter of they weren't ready. Okay,
right,
point blank. One of the things that they're working on is, hey guys, when you put it, because the same thing happened with Wreckfest. They need to understand when you put a game in Game Pass, whether it's brand new or it's been out for a while, it's gonna, all
The
of a sudden
servers are maxed out, aren't they?
Fivefold people are gonna all of a sudden want to look at that game. And you have to be ready for that either through your own systems or through Microsoft, but you have to be ready for it. And neither one of those games was ready for it, and neither one of those games. And most of the
you think it's a little bit of both then? A bit of Microsoft's problem and a little bit of,
not really Microsoft because it's not their call.
It's not that. It's nothing to do with them at all.
Right. It only has to do with them if the developer wants to get them involved. Hey, we're going to get slammed. We want to use some of your Azure server systems.
Yep.
The other thing is it's a big crossplay issue that I don't think they were expecting. Most of the issues actually have to do with crossplay more than anything. And this is the first game where we've seen this kind of crossplay.
It seems to be more PC versus console, isn't it? That seems to be the bigger issue.
Correct. But the problem is, it seems to be when something happens, it affects their server system as a whole. And all of a sudden, I can't get past the login screen,
Yes.
I don't think they're ready because, well, so I've heard from certain people that say that they know people within Square Enix, and before Game Pass there was a very, very low pre-order rate, and that could have something to do with why they didn't think it would do very well in numbers.
But
and obviously Game Pass,
that's a lousy thought process because even if the game is absolute crap, if it's free on Game Pass, hundreds of thousands of people are going to want to check it out. Okay.
And to be fair, this time round, do you know how most people always say, yeah, I'm going to check it out. Like when everyone goes, I'm going to play Bethesda games. Well, I went through my list about all the people kept going, I'm going to play Bethesda. No one was, a couple of people playing Bethesda. But this time round with Outriders, most of the people on my friends list were playing Outriders, and they have been continuously. This time round, it's really popular.
You know why? Because when they did the beta test and they did the demo, everybody on our feeds was talking about Outriders. Everybody, you couldn't get away from it. So as soon as it hit the Game Pass, everybody who hadn't looked at the demo or hadn't played said, "Oh, I got to check this out." Even if some of the people were reporting on it saying, "Oh, this thing is buggy, this thing is crap," there were still enough people going, "Hey, this is really cool. Oh, this is neat." And people were streaming it.
Exactly. And, Look at me. I played the beta, and I was absolutely tearing into the fact that it was having major disconnects. I think I actually made a tweet saying, in the space of an hour, I've disconnected something like 34 times.
That would have been enough for me to go, F this, I'm gone.
I know, but what got me was that it drew me in. And so that was the thing. That was what was, because it's like, hang on a minute. If, as you rightly said, if this amount of crashes in this sort of period and it was driving me nuts, but I stuck with it. And I was like, why did I stick with it? And that was because of the gameplay and in some cases the story narrative, which I saw. And I was like, there is a little bit more here than meets the eye. And so I probably did. I'm also stubborn as well. I'm a very stubborn person. So it's like, this is not going to beat me. I'm going to get further. I'm going to try and see if I can get as much as I can through this. But as I said, I was just one of those exact people where I was like saying, this is absolutely bloody. This disconnect was awful, but there is something here. So as back on Cerebral saying, I was probably one of those people.
And the other fact is that, disconnects or not, especially during beta, at least with me, I go into a beta expecting, okay, this thing's going to be, buggy as shit,
buggy.
But I go in expecting that. That's why I report the bugs, because I've been a beta tester on closed betas as well as open. And I just hope they work on it before they get released. In this case, I can't say whether they did or they didn't. I can't say if it's just because of server load, which I can guarantee you, at least for the first couple of days, that was probably it. After that, the one thing I will say is they've been very open. They've been tweeting a lot and saying, "Look, we know there's a problem. We're working on it. here's where we're at. I appreciate that.
Yeah,
I really do.
That was very good. It was in some cases it's 2 or 3 tweets an hour. Some cases it was almost every hour. And they were very transparent. We're sorting out the Europe servers first to see if there's any problems. Then USA will come on board.
Yep.
It was kind of nice.
Yeah,
it's weird to kind of have a developer almost be as open.
Yeah. Compared to another one who won't tell you anything. Half the time they won't admit their servers are down.
They're very transparent, though. They are very transparent. What I found though on the Twitter and the social media, they're very transparent in letting people know when it's going down, what they're trying to do. Here's the fixes, and it's quite fluid, and they're doing a good job of that. I know it has been going down, and they're doing a good job at fixing stuff. And not many companies are that transparent and keep updating you that much. It's very rare. It is.
That's what I'm saying. I think that's got a lot of goodwill.
Yeah, they're staying ahead of the train wreck, basically. They're staying ahead of the, you can't believe what's going on. They're always down. They're having problems. They're staying ahead of that by keeping us informed, by letting us know we're working on it. We're dealing with it.
Exactly.
We're here, instead of staying quiet, because staying quiet is what gets companies in trouble.
Oh, they start making stuff up as well, don't they?
People start making stuff up.
Well, it frustrates the gamers. We don't hear anything. We can't hear anything. We don't know if it's being moved. We don't know if it's been touched. We don't know if it's been modified. We don't know when it's going to happen. So it's like, what do I do? Do I wait for an hour and hope it gets back on? Do I bugger off and leave for a week? And you get to a point where you think, well, that's it. I'm done. And once you're done, most people are done. Yeah. So as you rightly said, they're ahead of the actual. And this is where I think a lot of developers should take heed. I think they are a little bit worried that they're going to get a bit of backlash.
Well, you see, in chat, Pixel Slap has said the new Xbox ethos is spreading. In other words, they know that they're getting more involved in social media. They're not hiding behind those walls anymore. They're saying, hey, we're out here. You got a problem? Talk to us.
Yeah,
question,
I think
ask us.
I think you'll still get some blowback, but the overwhelming majority will be more appreciative of a more transparent response to what they're doing. But don't lie to us, because that's another thing.
That's the big thing. Don't lie.
Yeah. Admit your faults. Don't lie to us. Don't joke us about. Tell us what is happening, and we'll be like, okay, well, at least they're being honest. Yeah, we may not like it, but at least we're being honest.
Well, it's true. I mean, they're doing very well. I mean, obviously in chat I did say they were an independent studio. Now, all I meant the fact that, from what I can tell, they used to be owned by Epic Games, because they made Gears Judgment and they made Bulletstorm. From what I can tell, currently they're not owned by anybody, but I think the IP Outriders is owned by, or is fully exclusive to, Square Enix Publishing. And I'll probably reword it. Probably it's AAA developer, but it is their first game since the 360 generation. It is. So it's like a refresh for them. And by all accounts, they're doing very well. It's like the rebirth of People Can Fly, and they're doing very well, because there's a lot of great studios in Poland. There's a lot of talent there. A hell of a lot of talent.
I'll tell you what, if CD Projekt Red would have handled their situation the way these guys are handling theirs, I think it would have been a totally different narrative.
Yeah, if they've come out and said, we hold our hands up straight away, it was us being greedy, we wanted the money, etc. It may have not been. It would have been bad, but I don't think it would have been as bad.
Yeah, they let that narrative get out of control before they finally stepped in and told people to stop, giving death threats to the developers. It's like it should have never got that far. It should have absolutely never got that far.
There's some crazy people about.
Yeah, there is, unfortunately, but
there is. Welcome, Matt Barnes. Welcome, Dragon Wolf. Welcome, Animated. If you want to drop in, you can, but you don't have to. I know you've been busy at work today. That's it, Welcome, Teleconic. Sorry, carry on, Removable.
I kind of feel like I'm doing your job. I was basically asking Cerebral.
It's because you're
I was going to move
more
that question onto Tushi. Really, I was like, there you go.
Because you're more versed in Outriders than me. I know you. You know a hell of a lot more than me. You know.
Tushi, what do you think? Do you think being the player you have you? What was your thoughts on the game itself and any potential and the issues that have arisen?
Overall, I feel like it had. I'm trying to think now. It kind of reminds me of like when I first tried Destiny. I really enjoyed it, but there's a lot going on, like to learn and stuff. But obviously, I feel like Destiny's more technical because that freaking thing's confusing to me now. but
it's
Outriders,
getting better. It's in a good place now. Destiny, as I've started to play it.
Oh, it's in a brilliant place.
It is. I'm going to start to play it a lot more. It is. Plus the fact it's all in Game Pass.
Yeah. But Outriders, it's clicked with me now because at first I wasn't interested in it. I don't know if you remember me mentioning that when it was first announced at the demo, like Dreadpool said in the feed, I didn't bother playing the demo because I thought, I might as well just play it when it comes out. But I didn't know the save progress carried over. But since I played it, because I wasn't interested at first, but now I'm absolutely loving it now. I've been playing. I admit we've had a lot of problems with connection loss. It just throws you back to the home screen.
Yeah.
The most annoying thing we've had, though, apart from that, is when we was fighting that bloody spider on co-op. Because of Leo was playing with, his gun kept disappearing. He couldn't shoot or anything. He was just running around the map. He couldn't use his buttons. It was like the whole control pad was literally like glitched out. And all he could do was run around the map. It was just pointless.
So he was the bait, whilst you're the guy firing.
Yeah, pretty much.
Run towards it. It's going over towards you. Yeah.
I will say, since you mentioned Destiny, I will say that's probably my biggest complaint. Well, let me just draw out my two biggest complaints. The cover system is shit.
Gears.
Because
it's Gears. Yeah.
When I use one of my if I'm in cover and I use one of my powers,
what is Gears?
The cover system.
The cover system.
When you're run running and stuff like that.
Yeah, but it's not the same as Gears. Gears is
it's
better.
Not the same. It's similar.
In Outriders, it's clunky.
Yeah, my issue with it is, like, if I'm in cover and I go to take a shot, I look down the barrel. As soon as I release that, it puts me back in cover.
It's hard, yeah. I don't have that problem in Gears. Yeah.
If I use one of my powers, I stand up straight like a target, and I stay standing up straight like a target, which is stupid. I should automatically retake cover. It should be a complete motion. If I start in cover, I should end in cover.
I think that could be depending on the power, because I know for a fact that one of my skills is a grenade, and you throw it, and you go instantly back in cover again.
Yeah, but it needs to be consistent, and it's not consistent.
Yeah.
The other one is if I'm standing next to a wall and I want to take cover, if my view moves just a little bit one side or the other, and I see something else in front of me, and I hit A to take cover, it runs 10 feet ahead of me past 4 mobs, and now I'm surrounded because I'm in the wrong cover. It's like, let's not do that. Let's say, hey, there's something right here.
I think isn't that if you're trying to do it, if you hold down A, it attacks you or press the A button too long. I think that's where it is, isn't it? It needs to be a little bit longer.
Yeah, it's way short before he decides to run across the battlefield.
Yeah, I think because I think that what they're doing is they're trying to make it fluid, but in some cases that's where it's gone slightly wrong, because I've seen that.
For my control system, that's not good. My guy may as well scream Leroy Jenkins every time I do that shit, because they're all coming after me.
Well, you are the pyromancer. You're supposed to be in the front. The rest of us, we're trying to back you up a little bit.
Pyromancer is mid. Okay, he's not up close. He's not far back. He's mid. He's supposed to be in the middle of the pack, not leading the crowd.
Well, that's what you're doing. Every time you press that A button, you're in the middle of that pack, whether you like it or not.
I've got to admit, I'm impressed with the AI on the game. It feels like they're always pushing you. They're always trying to come around the sides.
Flanking, Jesus.
Yeah, they're bloody good.
Telegonic, it's not a matter of tap and hold. It's a matter of my tap can sometimes turn into a hold because of the way my hands work. Because that delay is not very long. It's not a long hold before it registers a hold. Okay.
No, I think it's actually, if I remember correctly, it's just shy under a second.
Yeah, it's a pretty for a motion like that. It's not like the hold where you go around the circle. It's pretty quick. There it is. You know.
Yeah, I think to be honest, it would be better, as you said. You know, when you can destroy or destroy a element, and you see it go round, and that would probably be a little bit, maybe half that 2 seconds would have been a better option.
Yeah,
it is a little bit quick, which is great if you want that. But as you said, for yourself, it's just almost like a nightmare.
Or make it adjustable. Add it to the accessibility issue. Make it adjustable. No.
Yeah.
Tushi, you were saying?
Sorry.
No, I just feel like the AI is really advanced compared to a lot of games. The
way they come around the backside and they flank your
ass. They're flanking you. You got to watch your ass at all times. It's like you're looking forward and they're shooting at you. You're thinking, I'm getting cover here, but I'm still getting shot at, and you didn't realise there's somebody to the left side of you, like shooting you. But I got to admit, I do love the power ups though. That freaking like rocket launcher thing, that turret.
Oh, yep.
That's bloody brutal. That is. Takes out a big crowd of people. Now overall, I'm really enjoying the game.
My Technomancer one where the bouncing Betty. I like his little bouncing Betty thing. The sticky bomb that he throws in, if they come within a certain radius, it pops up and it blows them up. Yeah, that's cool.
Also, if you for that cerebral, if you can actually get a mod which gives you an extra 2.
Ooh, nice.
So you can get up to about 3, if I remember correctly, depending on because you get a supply mod and it's a more traps mod, and both give you 1 extra grenade, so you can get up to 3.
I got to start looking into the mods and stuff.
Oh, there is hundreds. Literally, that's one thing I am very impressed about. The mods for the gear, the weapons. I think if I remember, I worked out it's about 30 for the basic mods, and there's 3 tiers, so it's about 60, and that's just for the gear. And there's about another 60 for the weapons. So you're looking at around 120 different mod combinations, I think, minimum.
Nice.
Yeah, so you kind of understand the main mechanics and the mods and everything. Have you picked that up by playing the game, or have you watched videos on how it works, or you just from learning to play the game? Because there's a lot of channels on it now. Because a lot of the not all of them, but some of the Gears of War creators that like Horde mode have moved to doing Outriders content. They have, and they're loving it. They have.
Well, I'm a Horde mode man as well, so that's probably where it is. I'm a bit of a Horde mode man. Well, to be honest with you, what got me into it, and it's no name drops here, was actually HR Bomber, Lady, and Forks podcasts on it, where they gave a very in-depth details of the game itself as it was being released. Okay. And then I obviously tried out the beta and the demo, and that kind of cemented me a little bit. But it's only
the beta had more than the demo you thought as well.
Yes, it was. It did. Yeah. So basically, what the beta went up to, it was up to about. You went into about Zone 3, where the demo's actually only up to about Zone 1. So there was actually a little bit more there, which I think would have probably sold. It had a little bit more storyline to it. I kind of noted that one of the side missions was really good, and that would have showcased off a little bit of the story of the game as well. Okay. This is a run and gun game by no means, but there is some pretty good side missions there, which you're like, oh, hey, that's pulling at your heartstrings in some cases. But yeah, generally, that's how I've managed to start myself off. But now that I've actually gone into the game, there is a hell of a lot more that I didn't realise. They're really, they've thrown in bounties, they've thrown in monster hunters quests, they've thrown in side missions. There is go on.
So, with all that, I know Mr. Telegonic's about completed everything, mate. I know you have. You've been talking about it, right? So, from what I gather, this game is meant to be. They made to emphasise this isn't like a Destiny, right? But once you complete it all, it's done. Now, I've heard various people, and Thought Boys suggested that they are thinking about releasing regular content. He's heard they're discussing it based on his success. Nothing's confirmed, but they're talking about it. So, do you think that would work? Releasing
I think
more expansions, etc.
Yeah.
Without
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They could make new characters as well.
Oh,
add more.
Without doubt. More mods, more gear, more different areas to fight in. To be honest with you, this is, if I was looking at it as a business model, allows for a lot of paid content to come through.
Would you want it in the form of
Game
paying
Pass.
for each? Yeah. You got to think about it. Yeah, that would be good. But would you want it in like paid full pack, or would you like say this season's content and you pay for the season, or would you like it individually, or like Game Pass?
To be honest with you,
Game Pass probably would be good for everyone, but in the grand scheme of things, how do you think it would roll out on all platforms if they were to do that kind of thing?
If I think, to be honest with you, for it would be better for Game Pass, because it meant that everyone on Xbox could then be, no one's behind, or if they are going to do paid DLC, how it impacts other people. So with the people you're playing, they're not going to feel, too out of the loop. If in terms of if you've got the DLC and they haven't. I think that's also going to, how they do that is also going to affect crossplay, because obviously, if it is Game Pass, if it's free on Game Pass, it means it's going to be not free on PlayStation. So there is going to.
Can I say real quick? Yeah. The other thing I was thinking is if they did the same, like kind of like what Rainbow Six Siege does, where yes, you can earn them in game, but you can also buy them individually or as a season pass if they're going to crank out that much output, if they're going to keep adding.
That would be a better option, without a doubt. Yeah, that's probably the thing I was thinking. Actually, you've hit the nail right on the head.
That way you can either earn it in game, which will take you a while, or you can flat out buy the season pass and go, I got them.
There's Tushi. Take his money.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think like the levels, they're free, or the actual content, like say new area, new map, or new storyline free.
Right.
But the actual, maybe the mods, the gear, that you have to really work for, or
you can either earn access to, or you can pay. You can earn access through Long Quest, or you can pay. I mean,
I think it's what the success of it has come. I think it's probably surprised a few people.
Exactly. I mean, I do believe a lot of the success is also through Game Pass, because obviously that's because I said on Twitter once. I mean, I got started on for saying that Game Pass model is like a try before you buy, and the guy didn't understand what I meant. I just said that, well, yeah, you have it with the game. It says, yeah, but what happens if you like a game and you continue playing it and they decide to remove it? Technically, it's try before you buy model. So I'm not saying they will remove this from Game Pass, but I think that's helped the success and boosting of numbers, because I guarantee you, most of the people that are playing it now, you guys, etc., definitely Telegonic. If they haven't purchased it, and say it was to leave in 8 months, I hope it don't, I would say 90% of people would purchase it. I would say.
Yeah, I would.
Most stuff on Game Pass stays there at least 6 months, if not longer.
You think about the price drop in 6 months, it'll be like $10, $15.
Plus your 20% discount.
Also,
or they could just cut a deal where it just stays in there, and you get, if they do this DLC plan or expansions, where Microsoft could pay them a load of money, and you could just like the Destiny deal. With Destiny 2, you get all the content, everything included. Yeah. They might just cut a deal like that with them.
Look at Forza Horizon 4. It's on Game Pass. It's been on Game Pass for 2 years now, but I paid $15, even though I don't own the game. I only play it through Game Pass. I did pay the $15 for the Lego expansion. And a lot of us did that. We don't think twice about it. Or sure, we have access to the game. There, And at this point, if they were to pull Forza Horizon 4 for a time period, that's okay. You know, I've got more than enough playtime in the last year that I've been playing the Lego expansion. I'm not going to bitch and moan about it, you know.
Plus, you can guarantee by the time they do pull it, it'll probably be down to maybe $5 or $10 anyway. You might be able to get it there.
Right. Well, when they pull it on what they do. What they do with Forza is they put it in gold, and they put all the DLC for like next to nothing. They've done it with what was the last one? Forza Horizon 3. They put it in gold, and then they put all the DLC for about £2.50 or £5. Yeah. And they put it all in there, and it's licensing issues. It's the music that causes them the problems, because they don't want to renew the license, so they've got to get rid of it. They have, I believe.
And then let me speak to Pixel Slapper's point that I don't consider the Rainbow Six stuff where they add new characters or stuff pay to win, because the characters, they tend to keep them pretty even. There's no really super duper powered stuff that comes out of there. You're not paying for weapons. You're not paying for gear. You're just paying for a new set of powers and a new set of, and stuff like that. I wouldn't consider it pay to win. It's not.
Yeah, there's always, with those characters, there's always for every character they bring in, there is always a counter character.
Right.
Indy Cerebral, you said, yeah, I bought the Ultimate Expansion for Forza Horizon 4 with all the add-ons, but I play Forza Horizon 4 through Game Pass for free. Yep. See, that's supporting the game. If you like a game that much, people will pay, even that, because they think, oh well, they're getting money. But some people like to buy, just buy it and support the game, even though it is free in Game Pass. People will do that if they like a game that much.
And that Lego expansion was worth way more than $15. That is a big expansion if you really dig into it.
It's a good little map that is on that game.
Yeah. I think the direction they've been taking it is the right direction. I think the way they've been doing a lot of good stuff.
It is. I think Game Pass has come into its own slightly this year, and it's definitely a step in the right direction. But I don't know, maybe because I've been bitten and burnt a few times, I'm always still a bit hesitant. It's really good. The only reason I don't want to lavish too much praise yet, because it could easily go down the wrong way very quickly. So I want them to continue this path and really keep bashing this path, because the path they've got now, I don't think too many people who have Game Pass are arguing with it. Or have too many issues with it.
But I'll tell you why these deals are coming. I'll tell you why all these nice deals are in Game Pass, and people might not like the truth, is Xbox is cutting all these deals because they ain't got no first-party games to put in there, so they're subsidising with third-party, and that's the fact.
Please.
It's a fact.
But it's not like they thought of Game Pass last year and said, yeah, let's do it. This is something that's years in the making.
I agree, but what you got to understand is that is what they are doing, you see.
No, that's what it appears they're doing. That's what they're doing. What they are doing. Because they now have, what, 38 first-party publishers under their belt?
Yes, but what I'm saying is why they're getting these good deals is to keep you happy until the games come. That's what I'm saying.
It's the same thing that Netflix does or Hulu. They always keep the new stuff coming in. They have to.
Yeah.
The third party stuff.
That's what keeps you going back. If they don't add new
stuff. But once they've got all these, see, here's another question. Once they've got all these big first party games and they keep rolling out, will you get these big third party deals anymore? There won't be as frequent.
Yeah.
I think they're going to keep coming. I think they'll keep coming.
They'll keep coming.
A stale subscription service will not maintain itself.
We're gonna keep getting so much new material. We're not gonna be able to keep up as gamers.
No, I'm talking down the road in say 5 years.
No,
when all these games keep cranking out.
Even then, 5-10 years from now, even then.
The model itself won't. This is a little bit of a catch-22. The model itself doesn't lend itself to being stagnant. It has to be maintained regularly to keep. Unfortunately, what we are now, we are a society of consumerism to its nth degree. We are. And I don't want to be too facetious here. We are generally people now whose attention span's shortened, and so we need regular, new, intriguing things to keep us occupied. And so for this model to work, it has to be kept fresh, recycled, regularly updated, regularly modified. Otherwise, very quickly, you'll see another subscription service take its place.
Yep. And one thing that Microsoft has going for it real quick is they've always been focused on the smaller publishers. I don't see that changing anytime soon. I don't see them getting so big that they go, away. We don't need these third-party small guys anymore, because they've been so good at supporting those third-party small guys.
I think it'll carry on
10 years or so. Especially ever since Phil has taken over 7 years ago. I don't see that changing, at least as long as Phil is there.
Well, to be honest, it's not even Phil. To be honest, as long as the money's coming in, they'll be happy to do it. And let's be honest, Phil
does drive a lot of what we've seen over the last decade.
Yeah, a lot of the subs. As long as the subs keep growing, they keep doing. If them subs stagnate, they will. Things will stop.
Then they'll shift their focus, because that's business.
Exactly.
How can we?
Should we answer Indy's question?
Yeah, I brought that question up. What do you think Sony will do in response to Game Pass?
Can I go first on this one?
Yes.
Yeah, Play Pass.
I keep saying it. I said it ages ago in January.
Ages ago,
Play Pass. Yeah.
The problem that Sony has is, as has been pointed out by me specifically, is Game Pass wasn't born over a 2-year period. It was born over almost a decade. Sony hasn't been doing any of that. They don't have the infrastructure for it. If they have an answer for Game Pass, it's going to be shoddy and thrown together until they can get their.
They have infrastructure. They can use the Microsoft Azure, which they have.
But then they have to step on their tail.
I think Sony's a different business. We have to kind of realise that, and I think VJ would be the perfect person to come in here.
You guys are lucky VJ's not on there tonight, because some of the stuff you lot have said, he'd come up with stats and everything. He'd be like, I'm gonna try and parrot VJ here. Sony is a very different beast. So what they've done, and they're very clever in this regard, is that they've seen this new, I would say, new idea, new change of direction, and they've gone, do you know what, we're going to hold back and see how it does. If it falls flat on their face, we have no issue. If, on the other hand, it becomes very popular, we can replicate it. And I wouldn't be surprised that they then replicate something similar. If they can see there's money there to be made, I reckon they'll do something about it. The question, as Cerebral says,
I don't think they're in a position to replicate it.
Well, no, I think they are in a position. I don't think they're in a position in terms of time. And
he doesn't mean replicate it as Game Pass is. He means offer, because with PlayStation, I think all you need is for them to go, well, all of our games are day and date, and their fan base would be happy with that. PlayStation, this is a lot of podcast. PlayStation are not struggling, and until Xbox Game Pass is doing well. Don't get me wrong, but even Nintendo are sitting there watching. Everyone thinks they're not watching. They're all eyes are on Xbox Game Pass, and they're watching, and they're waiting to see if this really truly is a moneymaker and successful. Doesn't mean they replicate it, but they watch. Everyone thinks Nintendo are dumb.
I don't consider Nintendo the same type of beast. They're in their own little world.
They are, but their new boss said a while ago, when they were asked about digital and all of this, and he said they always keep their options open and they're always watching things. And they were open to the idea.
That's just good business.
But that's if needed. It currently isn't needed.
I mean,
it isn't needed in PlayStation either.
Nintendo's cranking out Donkey Kong and Mario still. I mean, it's a totally different beast. I have no interest in any of those old IPs. Seriously, I don't need another Donkey Kong. I don't need another Zelda. And they sell a lot of stuff, but the new Switch, big deal. I mean, to me, it's not going to add enough for me to go, yeah, I need to buy that.
Fair enough. It's like Indie Gamers just said, which is very true.
Right.
Each of the three companies have their own way to make sure they're all relevant, and it's true.
Uh-huh.
What people got to understand is a lot of people like the PlayStation brand. They're the biggest brand for consoles, and I think I seen Mr. Tushi say the other day on Twitter, it's going to stay that way for a long time. It will. Some people you can't change,
No, but the demographic is changing, especially with because we are not Sony's main market. It's the Asian market that is Sony's main market, and
they're big in mobile gaming.
Microsoft is starting to knock on that door.
Yeah, they are actually big in. This is the thing. They are actually big in mobile gaming, but it doesn't come under PlayStation. It comes under Sony. You see, a lot of people miss that trick. They've got quite a big mobile game over there, but it comes under Sony, not PlayStation.
Well, Sony's Microsoft and PC, It's.
But can we use this topic to bleed over to the other one that I know me and Tush are going to have a slight disagreement on?
I think, okay.
Is that about what snack you're having tonight?
No, I'm guessing this is the one that...
You've seen my snack.
This is the topic you talked about there might be a disagreement about earlier on in the DM, yeah?
Yeah.
Right. I'll just do a few shout-outs. Welcome, Assassin Looper. Thanks for stopping by. And welcome, Dragon Wolf. Thanks for stopping by. Yeah, it's been a good topic so far. I didn't realise that topic would go for so long. It's been fun though. MLB The Show comes to Game Pass. What do you think, Cerebral? And Tushi, fight it out.
No, well, what it is you posted that Sony said, hey, it wasn't our idea. It's all on MLB. It was their decision. We had no say. I think they're on damage control because their base is pissed. Okay. They are having their fan base go, what the hell, dude?
It's like children, isn't it? They're really bad, I tell you.
And I'd never trust Sony to give us the whole story. I'm sorry, they have a track record with me that they don't tell us if they mess up.
You saying that someone's been a bit of a Pinocchio?
Yeah. Pinocchio, we're talking the
PlayStation are making some money out of it. I don't care what MLB say. Because PlayStation actually make the game and develop it, they will be getting some of this money.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. If they make the game that they're saying MLB decided they wanted to cross-platform and we had no say, BS.
Yeah, they did. They're not stupid. They want more money.
Yeah.
All businessmen do. Like Jim Ryan's a total hard-faced businessman, and he obviously he knows the fan base won't like what he did, but PlayStation's a changing beast. They really are changing their ways.
Yeah, the fan base is pissed because games are going to PC. The fan base is pissed because MLB is no longer exclusive. It's like, and
I can't believe they made a petition to sack Jim Ryan.
Yeah,
Come on, the profits are massive.
That's a rapid response. That's a rapidly stupid response.
Sorry, not directors. The shareholders look at profits.
Yeah.
Profits are doing well. He's not getting sacked. They're only going to go up with putting it into Game Pass.
There's money. There's money there.
Exactly.
You're going to put your games on PC. There's money there. People are going to want to play it on their PC.
Exactly.
I mean, you're talking about them watching the other companies because they're watching the other companies do that.
They are. Yeah.
It's kind of a weird situation though because the people are kicking off about there will be the show going on Game Pass and it's not going on PS Now, stuff like that. But then on the other side of the coin, they're always complaining, saying they don't want a service like Game Pass. They want to buy and own their games. So,
what you should say to them, you only own a license, mate. They can revoke that license at any point.
Yep,
they can.
It rarely happens, but it can happen.
I don't know. I'm happy to try it out. Like I said to you yesterday, I think it was yesterday, I was going to buy MLB on the PlayStation a while ago, but I didn't want to pay full price because I've never played a baseball game since probably is it OG Xbox or something like that?
Maybe.
Last time was on
I will say one thing about this whole $70 thing. PlayStation don't keep their exclusives $70 all year round. They do drop them, and they drop them down to $20 in the end. That's how they sell a lot of their games. Because if VJ was on now, he'd give you a full breakdown of how they do it. Because he was going to come on. And he says they don't stay at $70. Everyone says they do, but they don't. They drop them down at price and have sales and everything. So in the end, you know.
And it's sales that you usually only see on the PlayStation platform. They will, they splash your screen with it. They splash your screen with it.
Yeah, exactly.
But me and Aleph said that obviously we found out that MLB The Show is an 8-player multiplayer, so we're going to try and chuck it into community game night and give it a go.
See, and one thing about it coming to Game Pass, I would have never tried it otherwise because history tells me that I don't tend to be very good at the baseball type games. But like I've said before, any game on Game Pass, even if I think I'm not going to be able to play it, I'm willing to download it and try it. Because it's no loss at me except for time and maybe bandwidth. Big deal. You know?
And hard drive space.
Like Lupus just put, anything goes to Game Pass, I'm going to try it. It's fair play, you know.
Hang on, if a Call of Duty comes in, is you coming on COD with us?
Yep.
Well,
you can't get out.
You never know the way Game Pass is going, and you know the way it's going. It could be one day Call of Duty could be in there. You know. The way it's going, one day, if they can do that, there's something, obviously there's metrics we don't see. There's metrics they show companies to impress them. And the metrics we won't see, because they never show you the real stats, do they? Of who's played this game, who's played that. But
let's face it,
that's
the
what's
metric they just
them,
need,
you know.
The only metric they need to show their shareholders is what Tushi spends.
There you go. There you go.
On the platform.
There's Lucas' response. Nope.
No, what she's saying is nope. It's absolutely 100% obvious I'll be on there.
I'm just waiting for some DLC for Golf for your friends. I want some new maps on there. Well, she's playing Outriders.
She's playing Outriders. I didn't know that.
Hey, well.
Yeah, I know for a fact the companies have access. They can see, how many people are playing what games, how much, even how much activity has picked up during the pandemic, and in certain they can isolate it by area.
How much Tushi is spending?
They can say okay, and let me
Not
just say,
I
mean they can track it all. They can say okay.
I reckon that's what it is, isn't it?
Is they're doing more of this, they're doing less of this. They can see
that's what the companies can see. It's stuff they will never reveal to us, but to companies, they're obviously very attractive to seeing their metrics, and that's what's putting.
They want to see those.
One
trends.
day, it might not be yet, but one day I do believe they will 1 year try and put Game Pass in and see if it works for them, and because it's not now Game Pass is the way where it is. It's not worth them building their own service, really, for it. Because they call it a subscription model, don't they? But it would be easier for them to put it into Game Pass. It would be, or in PlayStation if that's the way. But one day they will come to some kind of service, and Game Pass would look quite good.
What's funny is I think if they were to put Game Pass in it, I think Microsoft would pay for the privilege of having Game Pass on their platform. So it'd be income for Sony. Or PlayStation.
Conspiracy theory time. It does kind of translate a little bit. Now think of my logic here. But Outriders coming to Game Pass kind of hit the moment Tushi reduced his spending.
This is true.
Do you think there was am I just do you think Tushi's reduction of spending, Microsoft's executives started panicking, went, quick, get it.
Thing is, I probably wouldn't have bought Outriders, but if I'd tried the demo, I would have been hooked on it and bought it straight away. But
this is the irony. I don't know. I don't think you would have done. I think the demo was good, but it was, as I said, I think the beta was a much better system. I don't know. It's a hard one. Do you know? I was kind of slightly disappointed with the demo. That was my problem. And I was like, maybe, and it's maybe because I played the beta. But it's good that it's on Game Pass. So you can literally just dive straight in and go, wow, actually.
Yeah, I'm very impressed with him. Thing is that this last month, I think I've only bought 2 games.
Holy Jesus
definitely
Christ!
Really, it's your fault.
The execs are sweating now.
Yeah, I was going to say
your fault,
that explains the shock report I got from Xbox today.
Yeah, exactly. I know.
That's what it is. You know, first it was Outriders. Yeah. Tushi's funds are still dropping. Quick, get the MLB in there. Get on. If Tushi keeps not putting money in, you know, before you know it, it'll be something, you know, even bigger be thrown in.
Because I've only bought Mass Effect. The remake, I bought that ready for next month. I bought It Takes Two, which me and Al are going to go through next weekend. This weekend coming, should be fun. Two-player game.
It's nice how they give you a friend pass, isn't it?
Mm.
Yeah, they've done the same with.
Go through It Takes Two, yeah, animated.
A Way Out, they've done the same with that one, didn't they? That was good. That was.
Yeah, it was awesome. Way Out was such a good game. It really was.
Assassins requested, what character have you chosen on
Pyromancer. Pyromancer, but I'm moving to Technomancer because I'm struggling.
Well, try both, as I said. Jump on with us. See if or jump on with Cerebral, because I think, to be honest with you, Cerebral would be the best person to give you guidance on Pyromancer. I've only ever played Technomancer, so I couldn't give you any guides in that regards, or failing that, Fork Boy or H Bomber. But yeah, Cerebral will probably be the best person to see if you're happy with his skills. Failing that, as you said, swap over to a different character.
Yeah.
What level are you on Pyro? What level are you on Pyro?
Who, me? Don't ask.
2.
Yeah,
2. Yeah.
So everyone thought I'd love it, you see, because it's stuff like Gears, but I haven't so far.
Do you think it's more gory than Gears?
I haven't got that far into it, but the cover is not the same as Gears. It's worse because the cover I can jump straight in and out of really quickly. Tap of a button. You've got to hold buttons in, and it's not the same. It really isn't. But you can see where they got their influence from, because they made Gears Judgment. They did.
Yeah, the other thing I don't like about it is the Destiny menus. I hate the Destiny menus. I am on a console. I do not want to have to move the marker around like I'm.
It is. That's becoming a trend now, isn't it? I actually shared a screenshot of my character, and a friend of mine went, "That looks identical to Destiny."
I hate that.
And I'm like, do you know what that is? There's a lot of games now that have that same stained, almost like mouse-like.
I don't know if it's because it's going to be cross-play, but when it's on a console, it should just be click and move, not this bounce.
Well, I think, to be honest, I think you've hit the nail on the head, Des, because one thing that actually Xbox does allow for is keyboard and mouse applications on it. So I suspect it is very much orientated. So that little cursor is very much orientated for the PC or keyboard. I should say keyboard and mouse users, whether it be on Xbox or PC.
Yep, but I wish it would recognize, hey, I'm on a console. Let me just, if they click the left arrow or whatever, it moves.
Yeah, just tab through, tab.
You're right. Yeah, it has got a Destiny menu, and that's I can see that.
You gotta hold the menu, the gear setup. It all screams Destiny.
It does. Anyway, we should begin on to another topic. Stubbs, have you got a topic?
One more quick thing before we move off this topic. One thing I feel like where the game's gone backwards in the innovation of gaming is because now we're used to the the walking through cracks for loading screens. Do you feel like you miss that it isn't in the game?
Mm-hmm. I do.
Instead of watching these like a 5-second loading screen or something, I kind of miss going for that. The crack in the wall.
You missed a 5-minute go make a sandwich loading screen, really?
No. I mean, because we're used to the new thing now is going through the crack in the wall to load up the next area. It feels weird having a little loading screen or a cut screen. It's just the way the game's changed it. Yeah.
Yeah,
I've seen that
it's that jump across the new area or transverse through to another area. You're like, yeah, it could be a little bit more fluid. But I again, it's one of those things you don't know whether if it's just simply trying to. It's an asset data loading element. So I suspect it's probably trying to pick up. I think is it 4K assets on Outriders?
Yes, I believe so.
So maybe it's to do with because I think it is a series. Is it a Series X only, or is it on X as well?
What? Outriders.
Outriders.
It's on all.
Is it a multi-plat?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's on cloud as well.
I mean, is it a multi generation? Is it really?
Yeah.
So maybe that's what it is then. Maybe it's a throwback of, well, not a throwback. A what's it called? I think of my word now. It's oh god, what is it where you yeah, my brain's gone. You know where you basically not a collaboration. Basically, it's a throwback from the previous generations. You know, where they've had to make a bit of a tolerance.
It is enhanced for us, which means we have more to load in than the people on the older stuff. It is X enhanced, so we are loading in higher quality graphics than.
Maybe that's what it is. That for the lower ends, it's so they can load up the levels. For us, it's maybe a higher asset.
Right.
You're telling me, I fucking experienced 4K and it's fucking incredible.
Yeah,
it really is. Wow.
What do you think?
Oh, that's right. We haven't talked to you about that, have we? Are you enjoying?
It looks a lot. Yeah, it looks incredible. I mean,
those pixels bounce like anything now, don't they?
Yeah, I didn't know what you guys are on about. There is a massive difference between 1080p and 4K. Yeah, I've played on Gears 5. What else have I played?
What do you think of the textures on the Gears 5 loading screen? You know the character screen. The textures on the characters are nice, aren't they?
Yeah, no, they're a lot. Yes, I now know what everyone's on about.
Yeah, now you're going to start complaining that the UI isn't in 4K. I know how you are.
I hadn't noticed really. You know what I mean? I've not got that. I've not got that anal about it yet. So.
Not yet.
You will.
Yeah.
Have you tried Red Dead Redemption yet?
I haven't got that game, so I won't be able to.
Ooh.
It's not in Game Pass either.
For the 4K alone, you need to look at that game. Okay.
Yeah. GTA 5 may well be though.
Yeah.
But that is coming to Game Pass, or it's coming to Game Pass. It is, yeah. Again, the second time.
I was hoping that was coming to Game Pass PC as well. That GTA 5.
So,
you wouldn't think they need it in Game Pass. I mean, it's sold over 150, 170 million copies. You wouldn't think it need to be in there, you know. But
they're just making that last bit of money out of it, aren't they? That's all.
Well,
what really frustrated me is I moved from the original Xbox to the new Xbox One, and I got GTA 5 on the original one, and it's like I cannot afford to spend money to buy the upgraded version. And it's like, oh, you sods! The same thing with Diablo too. I was like, I got the previous console edition. I was like, I haven't got the money to buy it on the new one. So actually, if it does come to Game Pass, it will actually, I might jump back into it again.
They're doing a remake of Diablo 2, aren't they?
Yeah. If I have one on the old gen, I don't tend to buy the new gen stuff.
Just hit Rod Ferguson, the main man. Yeah. Diablo's main man, Rod Ferguson. Yeah. Hit him up, removable. Ask him what's going on.
Yeah.
Well, what about that?
To you.
No, anyway, but I agree with you, Cerebral. I don't buy a previous. If you've got a previous one, you don't buy the next one.
The beloved E3 is returning this year.
There has been one notable exception so far, and that's Bulletstorm. Speaking of Outriders, because I love Bulletstorm, and I didn't have my disc anymore, and they revamped it for the Xbox One X, and I said I gotta play that. And I'm probably gonna do the same thing with LA Noire. Which, if you've never played LA Noire, it's worth the pay.
Oh, it's brilliant! Yeah,
LA Noire.
There's also a nice little Easter egg of Bulletstorm in Outriders if you found it.
Yeah.
No, because I haven't played it.
No, I haven't found any Easter eggs for.
Oh, if you do the historical missions you will find the Easter egg for Bulletstorm.
Oh, nice.
That's what I'm saying.
On this topic, I didn't get any Easter eggs.
No.
No, I didn't get that one.
You know what? I'm actually on a diet at the minute. I'm doing quite well, and there's about 25 eggs in
seafood diet
near the computer. No proper diet. They're doing all right actually. I went for a walk earlier with a dog, quite far actually for me, because I'm still adjusting to walking.
Hobbling.
No, I'm not hobbling. I'm doing all right actually now, but I'm still can feel it. But no, yeah. But there is Easter eggs literally fucking right in front of me.
You know it's bad if I'm walking better than you before you are. So I'm just saying.
I'm very weird. I was hyperactive as a kid, so I wasn't allowed chocolate until I was 16. So actually, it's the one thing in the house we don't eat any of is chocolate or anything like that. It's just I've grown up not wanting anything sweet, or if it's like to be sweet, it'll be like fruit or something. Yeah,
E110s have been removed. I think that's what may have.
Yeah, well, at the time, they were still in that. So my parents says, "Look, that's it. You're wine reap man. That's it from now on till you were like 16, 17, till you've grown out of it." And so I never had chocolate ice cream or anything like that. So I've kind of no longer. Some people are like, "Oh, I could do with a bit of chocolate." I've never had that urge, if that makes sense.
Fair enough. Let's transition now. E3 has returned this year. It will take place on June the 12th to the 15th of June this year as a free, reimagined, all-virtual event. The Entertainment Software Association announced that organisers have announced a lineup which includes companies such as Nintendo, which did surprise me, Xbox, Capcom, Konami, Ubisoft, Take-Two Interactive, and Warner Brothers. Obviously, Sony is noticeably missing from that list, but
I'm shocked. I tell you, okay, I'm not.
I don't really think Xbox needs to be at E3 Digital, really. But if they want to be, fair play. It's more for the press coverage. I don't think they need to be there.
It does make me smile when they say free event.
It's just a fucking stream online. You know what I mean? That's all it is.
What you can do, that's it. Sorry, mate. You need to pay £400 before you can see the actual stream.
It's nice to see it
high
back,
definition 720p.
At least it's going to be, it may compress all Xbox's big games or whatever, or Nintendo's or anyone who's there into 1 week of a few days of. You don't have to have it over a period of months this time round. Hopefully, anyway, that would be nice.
What's interesting to me is because it's online and basically everybody can see it. I'm surprised Sony isn't going to take some of that spotlight.
To be fair, you'd think they would. I don't think they can.
They're going to do their own event.
Yeah, but I don't think they can get away with charging six figure fucking salary this time. Six-figure fee. I mean, I don't think they can get away with that. I think they might be begging people to please.
You know what? No, what they'll do is they're advertisers.
But Phil Spencer is part of the. I think Phil Spencer is part of the ESA. I was told he was part of the ESA, so as long as Phil's around, Xbox will attend E3. They've got a lot of members, haven't they? They have.
They tend to, every year at E3, they tend to show some really great stuff.
It's more fanfare for Xbox, really.
Yeah.
That's why they haven't pulled out. I mean, obviously, I do hope the actual event physically will reappear, because it's nice for people to go, gamers to go and play and speak to developers and try out games and meet up with community members and have all sorts of fun. It does look good.
Yep.
I hope they do demos again, where they just go, this is the event, and of now, here's a ton of demos you can play.
And then they go,
and I really hope
now live demo on Xbox.
Yeah,
Silk Song.
Exactly.
Well, and that physical E3 used to do too. If you were there, you got to play some demos and spend,
exactly
a half hour, 45 minutes, and then you go back to your stream and say, "Hey, I got to play this demo at E3 and it's fire, and I can't wait to see the full game."
Yeah, exactly. And I hope they do that for everybody, but also,
obviously, we're talking next year or year after. That will return,
well, the digital one, they could still do it with with certain streamers that have already been involved. And say,
I hope it's not the streamers and ID Xbox. I hope.
Well, I was going to say, I hope they, for the indie games aspect, I really hope they bring in a little bit more oomph to it than what it was, because there were some great games there.
Paul mentioned streamers, and I thought they better not use the same ones.
No, but I mean like Paris and those guys, who have a history of doing those demos and reporting back. Paris and a bunch of the other ones that I can't think of the big names.
Yeah, I think they would work well. I just again, I hope it's kind of well thought out. It's the energy is kept up and the chat is kept to a minimum.
Right.
I know, I know that's kind of. I want to hear what Phil says, but at the same time, I don't want him spending like 3 or 4 hours.
On those big shows, I don't even try to follow the chats because they just scream by. I don't even.
Yeah, you don't want to watch them chats because most of them just talk rubbish in them. It's all gibberish,
Well, it's not that. It's the PR spin blended.
Oh, sorry, no. I got mixed up there. I thought Cerebral was referring to the chat in a live stream for E3. No, you weren't. Sorry. I got mistaken.
Well, I was. If you watch a live stream in any of those big shows that they do, it's unwatchable. Either it's too fast, or all you see is the acidic, toxic crap.
It's emo stuff. Emo.
What annoys me is when we're on Twitch or wherever it is, and I can't remember who sometimes gives stuff away. It's some of the streams.
Oh, the giveaways, yeah.
And they all go, giveaway, but they tell you how to apply for. It's like when it was on. I can't remember. It was Mixer, or and they kept doing.
No, you're right. It did. It was.
It wasn't
as you watched,
giveaway.
If you watch the actual show, those who watch the show on Mixer would be given codes.
Yeah, but people on Twitch kept going, "I giveaway," thinking they'd get it. It's annoying, To be honest,
I think it was. I think it was just it was dependent on how long you watched, and because you was already connected to it by your name. I think what it probably was. It was probably like a bot software which you just kept track of your name.
With
and
Mixer,
then
Mixer was able to. Mixer was automatically able to grab the information and say, "Okay, they're here."
That's true. Yeah, they can.
Because I had a few times where I was like, I cheekily just kind of put it on in the background and do my other things.
You might find you find it only looks at the fact you were logged onto the stream, not how long you were there.
It was. Right. That's what I said. I kind of just lugged it on in the background, put it on, and then about 6 7 hours later or 4 hours later, sort of thing. It'd like come up. Oh, you've got a free game. It's like, oh, great. Fantastic.
See, what Lupus said here about E3. I think this is probably possible. I think Xbox will have an E3 show, and then Bethesda will have theirs, and maybe Xbox will have another. So they cover the whole time with Xbox shows. That's probably true. Bethesda may do a separate one. They may do that. They might.
I think it would be good. I think that hopefully they'll do a little bit of an indie show as well. Yeah. I'd like to see them bumped up again. Give them some bit more PR.
Hopefully it's in a good way though, not just a scissor wheel where everyone's rammed in there and you can't really see what's happening. Hopefully.
Yeah, I'd like to see. It's one of those
I always feel sorry for the guys that are working with Phil, and he's like, "Are there any questions in the chat?" Those guys that are trying to read the chat the same way we are.
Yes, exactly.
It's
their job to go. Can't. You think you can actually put the chat into slow mode? You can.
But it's not that slow, really. When there's 100,000 people spamming shit into it.
Exactly.
Well, it's one of those things. I hope it is. If I remember correctly, wasn't the last stream, was it a 1080p and then it was all uploaded in 4K?
Oh, they need to get that sorted. We can't have this time round, can we?
Well, no. To be honest, to be fair, we've got to be realising. Okay, 1080p is still heavy on the data, and those
it is.
Data
4K is really heavy.
Are going to be It's all right for us saying we want 4K. You're in the 4K club. It's all very it's all very well saying we want 4K streams. But to be honest with you, those with heavy data caps are going to suffer even with the 1080p. They're going to have to kind of like chip and choose which streams they're going to watch. Because it will eat into their data. So I think that's probably the wisest way to go at this stage: 1080p, and then upload it online to YouTube at 4K. Oh, Gorilla Corrective. Oh, thanks, Indy.
Ooh. Can I just tell a funny story on data caps?
No. Of course you can.
When I was homeless, I used to pay £10 a month for a 1 gig data thing on my mobile phone. And I remember once I used to go to the job centre to use the Wi-Fi to go in, like, to download updates and stuff, and to download games and stuff like that to keep me occupied. And I remember once I clicked to update by accident when I was in the thingy, but the Wi-Fi cut off for a second, and I used my whole month's data in about 3 seconds, I think it was.
Ouch.
Jesus.
I was updating the CSR Racing. It was like a 1.3 gig update, and it just literally, the Wi-Fi just cut off and just came my whole data plan in about 3 or 4 seconds.
And that's the
I was
problem.
absolutely gutted. I was.
Yeah, it's if you are data capped, or if these datas are heavily on your streams, isn't it? As you said, unless you can jump on someone's Wi-Fi, there are still a lot of people out there who are heavily data capped. So I do think 1080p is probably the better way to go. Indy's just posted a message up, which is always nice to see. He's basically said, Indies will be on the Xbox show as always. Sizzle reels and a good bunch of indie trailers featured, like Tunic, 12 Minutes, Spiritfarer, all were in full length. That is true. I'm looking forward to it. I must admit, I am looking forward to this. There's a lot of lovely indie games out there that really do deserve our attention.
Oh,
go on.
Another announcement. I completed the game Inside. I promised last week.
Indy is going to be ecstatic with you. I can guarantee you that.
I was in the DMs with Indy about 1 o'clock in the morning when I finished it. And I got to admit,
was he telling you what to do?
No, he was happy I finally played it. But it's absolutely an amazing game.
Did you do both endings?
No, I didn't know there was 2 endings.
Oh, gotta go back to it.
I have to do it again then.
Now, there are little things open now, so you should be able to go back and do certain levels to get the second ending.
All I can say is
Inside, have you completed it?
Yes.
We like.
He just said,
we're not ruining it for people. We like what the,
But the game, I can't think of any reason to give it a lower score than a 10 out of 10. It's absolutely amazing.
So open to interpretation. It is.
It's absolutely.
I think. Yeah, see, and this is the difference with those games that are very artistic and open to interpretation. Is whilst I agree with you, it's a fantastic game. Some will still not like it or not understand it or not. So it's a Marmite game with an artistic expression game. It's one of those things that is some people absolutely adore it and some people absolutely hate it.
Yeah, like whatever happened to
it's the beauty of being an artistic game. Yeah,
Do you have to bring up my favourite game all the time? Amazing game.
I didn't even think about that, but yeah, Edith Finch is an amazing game, but a lot of people either love it or hate it.
It's true.
Yeah, and there is also some topics on it which we know are traumatic to some people.
It is a pretty messed up game, really.
There is
some parts
that I won't talk about.
Just like what Luke Steele's put in the comments.
Oh, and thank you for coming, Luke.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing game.
Thank you for coming, Luke Steele. Cheers for stopping by. Yeah, it is. Inside.
It was a weird ending, I've got to admit.
Looper. It's called Inside. It's about a tenner, £8. How much is it?
I think it's about £25, but it comes with Limbo, I think.
You don't have to buy Limbo. You can buy it separately.
Limbo's good.
Limbo's good. Limbo's before Inside. That's it? Yeah, that's correct.
Yep. Yeah.
Infinite. Loved Edith Finch. He knows how to get brownie points.
Yeah, Edith Finch, again, it's one of those games that is the subject matter can be a little bit tenuous for certain people because it is very adult and some of it can be traumatic dependent on your experiences. I won't go into too much if you've never played it, but let's just say there are some...
Yeah.
Go on.
Yeah, tell me why it was another one like that.
Exactly. My wife was annoyed when we completed it. Was that it? Oh.
Yeah.
She wanted the sequel to it. She wanted more to play,
Yeah.
Dragon Water finished the medium. It gets dark. It does. Yeah,
I still need to finish that. My mom wants me to finish
I uninstalled it.
Get to stream it again.
Your mum will let you play it, will she?
Yeah, she made me stop streaming it while she was on vacation. Now she's back and she wants me to stream it again.
Let's just say that the ending's going to intrigue you, and that's all I'm going to say.
The ending to what? What game you on about?
So Medium. Real quick, and it was from Rockstar Games. LA Noire is on sale for $20 in the Microsoft Store right now. If you've never played it, it's an amazing game, people, and it's beautiful. And this is
it's also was it one of the very first games that had facial capture, a very high degree of facial capture, wasn't it?
And it was also one of the first ones that allowed you to bypass the some of the action sequences for accessibility purposes. If you failed something like 3 times, it would say, "Hey, do you want to skip this part?" and automatically go to the next part of the story. I praised that so much when the game first came out. Oh, man, that if I fail something 3 times because I can't do it, let me get on with the game. Let me play.
Some do. Some actually just say, "Oh, you've." If I remember correctly, did Halo, or am I being completely
I think LA Noire was the first one to do it. I think LA Noire was the first one.
No, I think it was probably the later Halos. To be honest, you're right. I think anyway, wasn't it? Was something like do you wish to drop the difficulty? I think in some cases there was always.
I think it does. Yeah. Mario does it as well.
But it actually lets you bypass the entire driving sequence. It would let you bypass the entire action sequence and get you to the next.
What I found about the LA Noire was how you read the character's facial.
So if they're lying, that was a whole.
Yeah, you read the character's facial expressions to work out whether they're lying, and I was just like, wow. At the time, it was like, this is so realistic because I could actually. Look at the characters' faces and recognize when they were lying, which is, and again, it's one of those things. I don't think that's been pushed heavily. And you think, to be honest with you, these days, with the capturing system, what's stopping them from doing it?
Well, and this was actually enhanced for the One X. This is actually an enhanced version beyond what we saw on the 360. I haven't played this one yet, but I'm really tempted to get it again.
Do you know one thing that wound me up about LA Noire? On the last, I think it's the last mission where you're under the tunnels in the church. You couldn't adjust the brightness or anything, but it was that dark on my screen. I couldn't see where I was going. I was just running up against the walls and stuff, and it took me, I think it was hours to get out of that bloody maze. Is it just pure darkness? I couldn't see nothing.
That is actually a function that we're trying to make sure is in all games for accessibility purposes, because some games don't let you adjust the gamma very much or anything like that. And we're like, you got to put that in like every single damn game.
I think it was my shit TV.
What's bright to you may not be. Well, yeah. Then there's that. If you were on a 360, you might have had a shit TV back then. Might have been going out.
But back to E3, I think everyone's got high hopes for the actual
event.
The event itself.
Yeah,
it'll be a blast.
It will.
And are you going to be taking some time off to watch it? That's the question. It's going to be because obviously it's going to be.
I just
those in the US of A have no problem. Some of us in the UK might be like going, "Well, this is going to be quite a bit of a late one."
I used to love watching E3 on TV,
I'll be disappointed if Gears 6 is announced. and shown off. I don't want it to be shown off.
You don't?
We might all be surprised by that. Yeah, I don't. Yeah.
If you ask you, it's going to do a Ragnarok where it's just going to be Gears 6 for 30 seconds.
But if you go by how Gears 4, Gears 5 released, it will be E3 this year, released next year. But I think, thinking of it a little bit over the last day or so, I think it needs like this a lot of time, like Halo had. I think it needs time, like Halo's had nearly 5 years. I think on Halo Infinite. I think.
Yeah, the trouble is with Halo, I think.
But Halo's the bigger. It's the bigger IP, you know. All the funding's gone out of Gears to Halo, you know.
I think also the new platform itself has impacted that, as well as COVID. You know, the new impact, the new software, the COVID, all those elements have attributed itself to potential problems. And I think maybe Gears will be suffering from the same thing.
Indy's prediction here: Silk's song at the Nintendo showing. I could believe that because they do a lot of more. Yeah. They do market it, Nintendo though.
Is that a game?
Will Devolver Digital be at the show?
Who? Sorry.
Devolver Digital, isn't it?
Yeah, but they don't do an E3. They do their own events normally.
Yeah, so I was thinking. Do you think they'll be doing one?
Yeah. Not an E3, but they will be doing their own event this year. I would have thought.
Oh right,
they do one every year. But
yeah, because I always look forward to them. They're really absolutely amazing.
They're normally quite funny. They are.
That's what I said.
I believe Phil Spencer was part of it last year, in a little funny thing.
That's why I thought. That's why in my head I thought that it might be at E3. Don't know why. Maybe I was just combining the two in my head. But I actually loved that. They're great shows. They always make me laugh out loud.
I mean, it could be part of the E3, but I thought normally they do those separately. But they could still do it in this same time week as E3. Wouldn't have to pay E3, would they? Just to go live, you know? They can.
Yeah, and as Indy said, Devolver hasn't been announced as part of it yet.
Yeah, exactly.
Yet being the appropriate word, but it'll be. They're. I'm looking forward to seeing what comes out of it. The question is, what do you think? I suppose, and this is what's going to be happening for the next month or so. It's going to be on a lot of podcasts. What do you think is going to be announced? Will it be a huge deal? Will it be a new game, new studio purchase?
You always want some. At E3, Phil always wants some bragging rights, so. Will he announce something? You know, that's his thing.
Sponsor of Midweek Gaming.
You never know.
Some breaking rights right now.
Battletoads too.
Yeah, Battletoads.
That will break the internet. That will.
Oh, imagine Xbox face if that come out.
Yeah. I don't really know what I'm after. A new IP. There you go. One that hasn't been announced. Something new. I don't know what, but something new.
So you want something new rather than, say, a remaster or remake?
I'd prefer it because I don't... Chat might kill me. Not really a fan of the Perfect Dark, and I never really played it, and don't really... I really think the initiative should have made a new IP. Really. I mean, a new studio should,
I would kill for a new Time Splitters.
I never played Time Splitters.
Oh my god! Have you never seen Shaun of the Dead?
Yes.
What game are they playing? Time Splitters.
Are they? Oh.
Yes, it was. Yes, and it was. I think it was Time Splitters 3. or 2. I could be wrong. But Time Splitters was my all-time favourite. So after Perfect Dark. Oh.
Was Time Splitters in the arcades with the guns and stuff? Is that Virtual Cop or something? I can't remember.
No, that was Virtual Cop. Yeah, Virtual Cop. There was a I think what you're saying. There was a on the train level where you was shooting people. So that was very similar to But Time Splitters. Give me that.
To what Assassin Lupus put in the chat, Everwild maybe. We ain't seen that for a while, have we?
Maybe, but I don't.
It's got to be due a little peak again.
It'll be a little peak, but I don't think it'll be much of a. It would be nice to have a peak, but the first peak they showed wasn't really It will look more like a trailer where you advertise it to Xbox. That kind of trailer. So can we green light?
Like to investors sort of thing.
Yeah. But hopefully, but they could easily give you another peek, and like Looper said, some Fable news, but it could just be a little bit more of a peek. You know, I think Everwild and Fable are years away, but people won't like to hear that. You know?
I'm hoping for some big Starfield news. What I'm saying.
I don't get that. People are hyped for a game no one's even seen. It amazes me, that does.
Well, I think I mentioned this. It's because Bethesda, they have a solid record with single-player games.
They do, but I don't think you're looking at... See, when you look at it, everyone will go, oh, it's going to come out this year. Is it bollocks?
No, it'll be out this year. It'll be out before the end of this year.
You've got Halo. Halo's the big sci-fi game. And then you're
but
looking
remember,
for a big
Halo
game for
originally wasn't supposed to be out this year.
Yeah,
originally wasn't supposed to be out this year.
What you got to think about is you need one big game for the fall.
No,
Halo.
They've been dropping a lot of big hints that a big game is coming out this summer, and some of those hints have alluded to Starfield.
I don't agree. I don't think it's coming. I don't. Yeah, I think it needs longer time. I don't think ZeniMax give them the true funding for Starfield, and I don't think it's ready. You know,
I'm gonna remember you said that when I'm playing Starfield.
You can next year. Next year you can remember that.
You never know. Maybe Capcom will announce Dino Crisis remake or remaster.
Shout out for Infinite for having a cup of tea. Welcome to the
podcast. Hot cup of tea. Well done.
Yeah, you can remember that, Paul. Don't worry. I will happily admit I'm wrong when it's revealed and coming out.
I don't know. There's to be honest with you, I'm going to be honest. I've got so many games to play. I'm kind of overburdened. And that is kind of a lucky thing to say, isn't it? As we are.
Starfield's been in production since 2016, hasn't it? Since the end of Fallout 4.
Has it? Did they actually say that, or you just?
Yeah, that's when it started. 2016.
That's already 5 years.
See, that can make. I've looked at a lot of things, and sometimes when you say production, doesn't mean they actually started making it.
Well, no, it could be they started going through the process of actually getting people in, getting staff, getting the actual people. But even so, that's a years. But say worst case scenario, years.
Where's bloody Elder Scrolls, the new one?
Making games
that's years away
nowadays.
But that was announced years ago as well. You see,
there's pre-production, there's script writing, there's all that kind of stuff. It's like making a movie.
Voice work. There is, software issues, and again, that's another thing which I think is going to be. It will impact on games that were already in the cycle, and that's the impact of the new software and the new hardware. RD12 is it RD12? How that affects these games coming out? They've got to try and make sure they implement that in the games that have been on production for the last 3 years. There is going to be some impact, but you never know what's out there.
Exactly.
I think that Starfield's going to be something like Mass Effect, sort of size scale. That's what I think. That's what they're aiming at.
Elder Scrolls in space.
Well, that's the way they've tagged it, is Elder Scrolls in space. Yeah.
Nice. It's going to be heavily story-driven then, which is good.
I've no interest, so you have to see.
Yeah, because I don't really. I know.
Well, I don't just play Gears. I play Gears in weeks. I just don't know what, because I got a big. I've tried to play these Bethesda games. What's their deal? Why do they want you to make a bloody Bethesda account to play a game? Why do they want you to make an account to play a game? I wouldn't mind Elder Scrolls Online, but come on, Doom, got to make an account. Bugger off, I won't play it.
Well, that's
it's not ideal.
Okay, that's how you.
but why? There's no reason for it at all. Not anymore.
I can see that being annoying. Yeah, I must admit, I can see that.
I mean, trust
annoying.
me, I get annoyed by the same thing. At
least I will make an account, but just don't see why I have to.
At least with Outriders, they made it optional. And because when I first saw that for Outriders, I'm like, I ain't doing this. I don't want to.
But with Elder Scrolls Online, I could see a point to it, but not with Doom and games like that. I couldn't see a point.
It's the same as it could be the just want your details to the seller.
For customer tracking purposes, like a lot of other companies do.
To Dragon Wolf, Starfield was in production from 2016. That's all. It's what he's asked in the chat, that's all.
Well, they won't be marketing to me, Judzilla or Looper, because I haven't made an account yet. And they could track me anyway by the Xbox through Xbox.
It depends. I mean, they have different agreements for that. Depends on how your stuff is filled out.
Xbox track everything though. They may not tell everyone.
But whether they share the information though is a different story.
They don't share it willy-nilly, do they?
No, you're right. You push adverts, they fucking get. I don't understand how someone who's got Game Pass Ultimate still gets Xbox Ultimate adverts on the homepage. I don't get that.
Just because someone in your family hasn't got it, so you can tell them.
Well, it ain't that. Well, I don't get it because.
Well, the alpha screen does actually ask if the adverts are too much.
Right.
So I think that's. I think those in the alpha, if they find it, because that's what you're in the alpha, aren't you, Cerebral?
What's that? Yeah, I'm in the alpha.
The alpha.
I'm in the skip ahead. I'm in the upper alpha. I'm in the.
Yeah, exactly. I think. Am I correct saying they do actually ask you whether if the adverts. Well, they have in previous surveys asked if the dashboard feels too advert-like, don't they?
Yep. They
are monitoring it. I think they're trying to get that nice. That consistency of where it doesn't look like an ad, but it is clearly an ad.
Right.
But it's something that you're not going to notice too much on your dashboard.
One I do like right now is it actually reminds me, hey, go turn in your Microsoft points, whatever. Go make sure you turn in your little things that you've done so you get the points. Like, okay, because that actually helped me remember, that I've earned something.
Speaking of that, have you used the event tracker in any shape or way or form?
I have not yet.
No. I haven't, and I'm like, I kind of had it on there, and I realised it by accidentally clicking down because I've got it under the main screen. I've actually got it at the very bottom. And I accidentally clicked right down to the bottom. It's like, oh, there's events, and I was like, what do these do exactly? It just reminds me that there's a whole load of events on. I was like, don't really need to know about that. So I turned it off.
I have Game Pass to the end of 2023, Lupa, and they keep asking me if I
Exactly. It's a big point. It's like they should know if your account is in Game Pass Ultimate.
Right.
They should know that. But then they still offer you the $1 deal too. Yeah. You click on it and you can't get it.
I don't think they're actually checking the account status when they do that.
They can't be.
Screen.
They can't be. No.
I will. Let's just say that'll come up in a future meeting. Wish I would have that today.
You're a $1 trillion company. Come on, sort your shit out.
I still get Game Pass ads, even though I pay for 2 subs to Game Pass Ultimate, and I still get adverts for it.
Yep. Like I said, I don't
do
think
not want you to forget.
Actually logged in. They're just sending it to the console.
Yeah, they don't want you to forget.
The real question is, for Game Pass Ultimate, do you pay the full price? Or do you go for the cheap bundles? Because I saw a poll on Twitter, and I can't remember who actually mentioned it, and I was like, who pays full price?
That's a very interesting point.
And when the poll finished, it was like, there was a very large number of people who were paying full price, and I was like, seriously?
Yeah.
Really? Are you paying full price? And I was like, if
I
anything,
haven't paid for it
really,
yet.
It really shocked me.
Yeah, between Microsoft points and just different areas where I won 6 months here or 2 years there.
Yeah.
I'm covered. And I did start with the buy for $1, and I had like 2 years at that point. It's like
I'm exactly the same.
I don't think I've paid for a full month with actually hard cold cash since it started. It's like
Yeah, no, I haven't. I haven't done even in gold now. I was like, I very rarely have I paid the full price. But again, I saw this on Twitter, and I think the full price option was about 70% last time I looked at the poll, and 30% was paying it by doing bulk deals and other different ways. I was like, wow, really?
Yeah.
I literally thought it was going to be the other way around. Now, I can't remember the number of people who polled. I think it was around 1,000 people. So
Infinite,
it's still
you pay cash. You pay cash monthly for 2. Wow.
That's
if you just do some of the if you just do some of the Microsoft Rewards stuff, you can at least cover one of those every month.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people
look
are doing that.
Indeed. Yeah.
I wonder how long it would be before Microsoft realise everyone's doing that and them cards. You know what I mean? So
no, they know.
They know. Trust me. They know who's doing. Well, let's face it. If that poll's correct, and I'm not saying it is, this was just a Twitter poll. And we apply that across the board and say there's a little bit of tolerance. Say, I know the poll said 70-30, people were paying the full price. Say it's actually more like 60-40. That is still a huge amount of money going in. I don't think they're going to care. That is, I was very... Ooh, Pixel says I signed up Ultimate a year ago. I donated 20 quid to different charities, and I've still got 65,000 points left doing dailies and Bing, etc. Plus, I've leased £50 on perks for the PSO2. Yep. And as Assassin said, there's a website where you can purchase 10. That's exactly where I got it. It was Tushi might be able to tell you. 10 times 14-day codes, which is 5 months for $20.
And it works out something like £18 in UK for 5 months of Game Pass Ultimate. So I bought 10 codes, and then I put another 10 in my basket and another tried, and it failed. And I kept trying another 10 all the time, and it kept failing. So it only let me buy 10.
Oh, you sot. I shouldn't laugh, but that's a gits, isn't it?
I was going to max out for 3 years, but it wouldn't let me.
Well, there is an alternative way, and I've done this. Use a partner's account to buy it. So £10 for Tushi, and then £10 for Mrs. Tushi, and then just put because it doesn't matter where the codes go. It just who's purchasing.
Yep. You kept coming saying possible fraud or something. So
well, if
the
payment itself has If they see too many items going through your card, which is unusual, and let's be face it, unless you're doing this on a regular basis,
it's not unusual for Mr. Tushi's card.
It went from the bank; it was rejecting it. It's a site.
Tushi's bank should be calling him. Why aren't you spending more money?
Exactly.
Are you okay? Are you sick?
It weren't my bank that was rejecting it; it was the actual site that was rejecting it.
Okay.
Maybe the sites. Maybe there was an influx. It was like, oh my god, quick! Because let's face it, there is a lot of people that could take advantage, and may have already done so. But there is an alternative for that. Get your partner to pay for the extra 10, and then use those.
Well, I've got Game Pass now till December, so I'm happy. And build some points up now.
I've got Game Pass till January.
March 20th, 2023.
I'm going to sort that out soon. I'm going to.
Yeah, it is. I was surprised, but if anything, as I said, I think if that poll is remotely even accurate.
Because I believe there's a website in there removable. As Looper was asking, isn't there an Xbox website that tells you the conversion rate of what you can convert?
I've actually got a screenshot of that. So if anyone wants to know what that is in terms of what your gold.
Yeah.
Yep, I can pass that over to you directly. I can do it in the DMs, Loop, if you want me to, or if you want, I'll pass it on Twitter anyway. And it tells you what Game Pass Gold is, what Game Pass is, and what all those translate over into Game Pass Ultimate. I grabbed it off the website ages ago, and I'll try and post it.
Yeah, very helpful that would be. But no, tonight's show has been very good tonight. It has. Just the four of us tonight. It's been.
Yeah, we've unfortunately didn't get a chance to see VJ. He's a bit busy, and poor old Animated. He's still
work.
He was. Yeah, snowed in. Well, not snowed in as in terms of snow, but just under
loads of work.
Yeah, we miss them both.
Yeah, we do. So, Mr. Tushi, where can we find you? And thanks for coming on.
Thank you for having me on again, as always. You can find me anywhere as Mr. Tushi and Tushi Gaming. I've been changing all things around. Community going out, we haven't decided the games yet. I need to speak to Al in the morning. But I'm thinking maybe
Zoom call. Hard decisions.
I'm thinking we ain't touched gears for a while.
How old?
Have we? No, I need a big lobby.
It's too small.
There's too many people.
I know.
We'll see. Apart from that, you find me anywhere as Mr. Tushi. That's about it.
Okay.
Short and sweet.
Thanks for coming on, Cerebral Paul. Can you tell people where they can find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Cerebral Paul 1, on Twitch as Cerebral Paul. On YouTube, you'll have to do a search for Cerebral Paul. And on, tomorrow night, I will be on with the original Next Level Gaming at 9 p.m.
Nice! Yes! I'll catch up with that. Yes, definitely.
At 9 p.m. Eastern. And then on Sunday, of course, I will be on the Flamic Experience. And then you can find me here every Wednesday. And wherever else I decide to show up. Yeah, and if I can finally get off my butt, I'm going to start turning out some YouTube information. But, yeah. But I've been having trouble getting motivated, and I've been sick the last couple of days, and I have some things going on toward the end of this week, but hopefully by next week I'll start getting some stuff cranked out. So that's about it. I've been trying to keep myself busy and have some fun at the same time.
Yeah, thanks for coming on, Cerebral. Hopefully you feel better soon.
I'm getting there, actually. Today's been a better day than the last couple. I stopped coughing up Rorschach test. So
oh, no.
Nice.
So, Removable, thanks for coming on, and you can tell people where they can find you and your amazing reviews.
Again, thank you very much for having me on and even bothering to listen to my opinions. I'm always kind of still shocked that I'm even remotely asked, to be honest with you. You can find me as Removal Sanity on Twitter, YouTube, minds.com, and on Xbox Live.
Ooh.
Nice.
Stubbs, where can we find you?
Stubbs Gaming on Twitter. This YouTube channel, please press subscribe and press the like button. Don't press dislike, but saying that, I've just said that. Someone will press it now.
I know.
I didn't get it last week. It didn't happen last week because Indie Gamer was on last week. It was big. Yeah, it was.
No one's going to dislike Indie.
No, exactly. The main man. But yeah, thanks for stopping by, everyone. Looper, Telegonic, Indie Gamer, Dragon Wolf, Dreadpool, Avish,
Masuko,
Pixel Slapper, Masuku, Luke Steele. Trying to cut list a bit. Animated Evil,
Infinite,
Godzilla,
Infinite. Thanks for stopping by.
Mav,
Speculation, Mama Rocks. I can't get that higher on the list. Cerebral Paul, Removal Sanity.
He's always here, somewhere along the line.
Mr. Tushi. Yeah, thanks for stopping by, everyone, and I will see you all next week.
It's nice.
It's nice.